Hi, I'm Catherine Llewellyn, the host of the podcast. You can find out all about Truth and Transcendence on truthandtranscendence.com. And you can find out all about me on beingspace.world, where you will find my online coaching offering, as well as my UK-based workshops. The Freedom of Spirit workshop for liberation and empowerment, the Pellower Radical Shift in Consciousness workshop for spiritual expansion, and transformational coaching for exploring the mind-body-spirit connection on the expansive path. You can also support the podcast by actually making a donation. I hope you enjoy the show. Welcome to Truth and Transcendence. You can find all our other episodes on truthandtranscendence.com. Years ago, when I used to be out traveling around the countryside in the UK, running training courses for groups of senior managers, this is a long time ago, I used to end up staying in hotels all the time and obviously ordering meals. And sometimes I would fall into conversation with people I met in these hotels, other guests or staff or whatever, and they could see what I was choosing to eat or not eat. And a number of times someone said something to me along the lines of, you look really healthy, you look really good. But why are you eating that very, very strange diet of food? Why do you eat weird? Why are you so weird in what you choose to eat? You look great. And they hadn't made a connection between how they thought I looked and my choice of food that I was eating. Now, to be fair, this was in the 1980s and early 1990s. So it's a long time ago. Nowadays, you'd be a lot less likely to get a conversation like that taking place, because nowadays everybody knows that what you eat and what you don't eat makes a fundamental difference to your health, and that makes a fundamental difference to how you look. So that's an example which wouldn't be true now, but I think you could probably tune into how mad that was, how bonkers that was. And the reason I'm telling that little anecdotal story is because there's something I've noticed. I think it's an attitude thing, or maybe it's a habit thing. I'm not quite sure what it is, but I do think it's quite important. When you see somebody doing something or making certain choices or behaving a certain way or having their environment a certain way or whatever it is, do you start from the assumption that they know what they're doing, they know how to do what they're doing, they're making their own choices, they're making the right choices for them? Or do you start from the assumption that they don't know what they're doing, they don't know how to do what they're doing, they're not actually making any choices, or if they are, they're making the wrong choices for them? So why is this fundamental? I think this is fundamental because when we make the first set of assumptions, which is the person knows what they're doing, they know why they're doing it, they know how to do it, they know what choices they're making, and they're making the choices that are right for them in that moment, that puts us in a position where we can learn from that person. We can observe them, and we might actually discover something brand new. We might discover something absolutely fascinating and really, really interesting and useful for us. The other benefit of it is the person will find us not annoying. The person will actually feel appreciated and respected and valued in their own sovereignty. Whereas if we take the other perspective, which is they don't know what they're doing, they don't know why they're doing it, they don't know how to do what they're doing, they don't know what they're choosing, or if they do know what they're choosing, they're making the wrong choice, we are closing ourselves off completely from learning from and about that person. And we are also disrespecting that person. We're making a negative assumption about them. And this is fundamentally undermining for relationships and connection. So why would we take the former point of view, or why would we take the latter point of view? I think we would take the former point of view if we are in a place of genuine appreciation for the world around us and the people around us, starting from a place of everything's perfect, I appreciate it, I'm grateful for it as it is. Now, I think we've all heard that gratitude and appreciation are a wonderful aspirational state or mode of being for us. And many people listening or watching this podcast will actually be practicing that right now. So you will know what it's like to practice that, and you will know what effect it has in your life. Applying it specifically to our relationships with other people, particularly when we're observing something about those people that to you might seem at first glance odd or strange or bizarre or not right or confusing. If we actually take this particular perspective, it's very, very helpful for us. And it also puts us into a place of much greater inner peace and acceptance. So why would we take the other point of view? Why would we go in with all those negative assumptions? Well, we might do that if we're in our ego, if we are in a place of, I'm right about everything and my identity depends on that. I have to be the person who knows best. I have to be the person who has the correct information, who knows better than you. And I think all of us probably are in that place some of the time. Some of us more of the time than others, perhaps. And I know I've been in that place, and I know I will be in that place again. Or I assume I will be in that place again. But that is not a happy place to be. That is not a generative or creative place to be. That is a restrictive, defensive place to be. It's a overly controlling place to be, controlling of ourselves and controlling of others. And it is very bad for our relationships. It creates domination, control. There's no place for love. There's no place for proper listening. There's no place for compassion. So over this coming week, I invite you to possibly observe with the people around you, are you drawing certain assumptions about them off the bat or with a little bit of observation, making an assumption, which is they don't know what they're doing. They don't know why they're doing it. They don't know how to do it. They're not making their own choices, or if they are making choices, they're making the wrong ones for them. Or are you going with the assumption of they do know what they're doing. They do know why they're doing it. They do know how to do it. They are making their own choices. And those choices are the best ones for them in that moment. Because the thing is, we do not know which it is. We can't know which it is. You might say, oh, yes, we can. Well, I would argue with that. I would say we can reach a place where we are convinced that we know, but I don't think we do know. You've probably heard I don't know if it's the Chinese story where somebody goes to market. It's a long story where somebody says, my horse has gone lame, and everyone goes, oh, that's terrible. And the man goes, yeah, well, let's wait and see. And then the recruiters come along to recruit him to go to war, and his horse is lame. He can't ride off to war with them, so they don't take him to war. And his neighbors say, hey, that's fantastic news. He goes, well, let's wait and see. And the story goes on and on and on and on. Each thing that happens could be seen as good news or bad news, and then wait and see. So the same applies to our opinion about other people's choices and what they're doing and how they're doing it. We do not actually know. So how about playing around with the possibility that maybe they do know exactly what they're doing, how they're doing it, why they're doing it, and they're making their own choices, and they are the right choices for them. So thank you for watching and listening. That's all for Truth and Transcendence for today. Please give us a 5-star rating. You know what to do. You know exactly what to do to support the show. And thank you for coming back if you're coming back. And thank you for joining in for the first time if it's the first time. Have a great week. I'll see you next time. I hope you enjoyed this week's episode. It really helps if you give a thumbs up, a 5-star rating, a review, and share with your friends. If you're looking for transformational coaching or an intensive transformational weekend workshop experience, I can help with that. You can actually help the show by making a donation. Until next time, take care.